This episode of Canter Culture is going to be a topic that there are some skeptics about, and then there are some people that are firm believers. And that is talking with an animal communicator. I am going to have on this woman. Her name is Dawn Taylor, and she's local to me, and I've worked with other animal communicators also in the past, and I have always had such an incredible experience with them. And whether you believe it or you don't, you can always get something from it. And I feel like if you are a believer, it can really help you hone in on the type of horseman that you are and help you get a connection with your animal or your animals. With the Quarter Horse Congress and the Quarter Horse World Show coming up, I wanted to have Dawn out specifically because I've been dealing with some internal conflicts between myself and my horse and prepping for these big shows. And I just want to make sure that our connection is as strong as it can be, because I know that that's really, really important when it comes to prepping for these big shows. So I think it's really important to be the best horseman that you can. And in multiple areas, whether that's your performance, your mental status, or your connection with your horse. We're going to ask a lot of these horses in the next couple months. And if we don't have our shit together, is it even worth it? Is it worth going? I don't know. I mean, for me, I want to be as prepared as possible, and I want to have the confidence walking into the pen that I've done everything I can to be the best rider, the best horse woman, and also the best horse mom possible. So enjoy this podcast with Dawn and myself as we delve into the world of equine communication. Okay, so we are Canter Culture.
Hi, Canter Culture. This is awesome.
This is cool, right?
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So introduce yourself to us.
Okay, so my name is Dawn Taylor. I am a medium, animal communicator, Reiki master.
Like the coolest job ever. Next to mine, I say, because I have the best job in the world taking pictures of horses.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
I am blown away. And I talked about you in my intro to why I'm doing this podcast. Mm-hmm. And I just want more people to understand what you do, how it helps people and horses. Mm-hmm. And I also want to touch on the people that have doubts about this, mm-hmm. and why, whether they have doubts or they believe in it wholeheartedly, what you can do for both of those type of people.
Yeah.
And have you ever taken someone that was like 100% a non-believer, and then you walked in their barn, did a reading, mm-hmm. and then next thing you know, they're like probably crying? And
Several, yes. Sure. And which is great. I get a call that usually it's from a larger facility, that somebody in their barn or several people in their barn are having issues with their horses. And they immediately tell me I'm a non-believer, but they want you to come in, so I'll welcome you in my barn. Yep. And then I wind up reading all their horses first, and spot like different things that they're having issues with that nobody knows about. And then, I help them move past that stuff. And then they're like, oh my gosh, crazy. That's incredible. How did you even know that?
Crazy.
And they're talking to me.
So I want to say my experience with Dawn was I was having some really weird feelings in this barn in particular. My parents have had this barn for about 15 years, and we've always had horses in like the first 3 stalls or so. And the horses that had been in the first stall in this barn, something tragic had happened to, like, I'm not kidding, every single one. Mm-hmm. It was like my first horse was in there. He was an Appaloosa, and we bought him when he was 3. And when we brought him here, all of a sudden he started having all these sicknesses and mm-hmm. things kept happening. But like his whole life before that, he was great, no issues. And then all of a sudden one day he basically colicked and died. Mm-hmm. And he had never colicked a day in his life. He was like 21 years old. That was never an issue. And then it kept being that way. The more horses we put in that stall would have these like freak things happening to them. So anyways, I had heard about Dawn at another barn that I was taking pictures at. And I said, I have to have her over to do a barn blessing, not necessarily a reading, but a barn blessing. Because I was like, we need to get the spirits out.
Yeah.
Because there is some bad energy in this barn.
Absolutely.
And it's my sanctuary. You know, like I want to come in here and be happy and I want my horses happy. So when I had you come over, I remember she walks in the barn. Now, mind you, I didn't really give her time to look me up on Facebook or like do any kind of like internet searches on who I am or to get like the specifics about me. And she comes in, she says, I just want to walk down the aisle, just see, you know, see the place. And she gets to Zeus's stall, which he's the third horse.
Yeah.
And he's the horse I currently am showing. And she says, my goodness, he has a lot to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just recently brought him home from being in a training barn. And I had a lot of questions about the transition and kind of what was going on with him and we weren't connecting as well as I had hoped. And my goodness, I think the first 3 sentences out of her mouth, I was crying because it was like so enlightening.
Yeah.
And I think you probably spent maybe like 2.5, 3 hours here. And after she left, my mom was here too. And we just had this weight lifted off of our shoulders. It was incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I remember when you left, you know, we're talking about the things you said, and we're trying to remember all the little things. And, you know, one of them specifically was, you said, have you been humming or making a certain noise with him? And I had just been teaching him to transition from going from a faster speed to a slower speed by humming. And I was just teaching it. Who would know that? The only person that would know that is me in my arena. Like, no, I ride by myself all the time. I don't even think my mother would have known that.
Right,
so it was, I couldn't believe that it was that deep to know that.
Horses are so, and I know I said this to you before. So horses are the ultimate truth tellers. You can't fake it with them at all, ever. You know, you come in, they are so empathic. They feel your energy. They know exactly what you want before you even touch them. You have to leave your bad day outside and come in and be present with them. I did a reading real quick. I'll touch on this as far as like humming and stuff. Yeah. So I went into a barn and it was a woman's horse that somebody else rode, but she was there to watch the reading. And she was super skeptical. She was like, I don't put anything into this, but show me what you got.
Sure.
So I went in and I started my Reiki session on him and I went right to a spot on his neck and she kind of looked at me like, she said, well, he broke his neck there.
Oh my gosh.
So that was the first thing. And then I said, okay, he's telling me, I looked at her directly. I said, what's the rhyme? And he's using the word specifically rhyme. What's the rhyme that you use when you're riding him to keep him in time for his jumps? And she looked around and said, there's no way anybody could have known that because I do it when we're alone. And she sings, we're off to sing to see the Wizard, the Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Gosh, to
keep him in time.
No way.
And she walked away. She was like, I can't even stay with
wow,
this. She was like, she's like, there's no way you could have known that.
No, there isn't. I mean, it's absolutely incredible how those little details come out. But those are those little details that we share with our horses.
And that are so important that they want you to know that mean the world to them because it helps them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and I think it's important to touch on what you said, you need to leave your bad day outside.
Absolutely.
When you come in. And I think that's important for amateurs, kids, and trainers.
Absolutely.
I know we were talking about another horse trainer that you had visited at the Congress, at the Quarter Horse Congress. Yeah. And she was just about getting ready to show. And give us your, what happened.
So she was on the horse and, you know, she said, is there anything that I need to know? Or are you getting anything about her and I together? And I said, absolutely. I said, she needs to feel you are with her during this. She doesn't want to be alone doing this, you know, by herself. Yeah. It has to be a team. She wants to know you guys are a team and to feel your grace, hold her. Yeah. You know, it's about you and her doing this together. She doesn't want to feel like she's alone, just going. Okay. And it worked.
Yeah. Just like changed her perspective.
Absolutely.
And it allowed her to ride the horse she was riding.
Correct. And the horse felt like, she felt the connection.
Yeah.
Which was huge.
Right.
Which before she didn't.
Right. And there was another funny part though too. So they got in the lineup.
Yeah.
Right at the end.
Yeah. So there were 79 horses in the class. So she lined up. She was an older horse. She lined up and squared up and looked to her left and looked to her right and said, I told the owner, I said, she just told those horses that she beat them.
So cute.
And she did.
She did.
She did.
She did. And that was all before any of the results had been tabulated at all.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
And she was so proud of herself because again, they worked hard together and it showed.
Right.
You know.
Right. So with the Congress coming up, it's gonna be here in about a month or so. And you've been there.
Yep.
And when you walk through, you feel inundated.
I do.
With a lot of horses having things that they want to say, and dogs have things that they want to say.
And there was a cat too last year.
A cat. Oh, I love
a cat.
that.
Yeah.
So now for you, is it a lot of voices that come to you at one time? You have to kind of hone in on one, or?
So it's basically who's the loudest.
Oh, okay.
That kind of gets my attention.
Okay.
And they'll pull me close to them. They'll pull me in.
Okay.
And it's happened several times. But I'm not going to go up to a stranger and start telling them that their horse is talking to me. So it's sad that I have to walk through and kind of just shut it off, because a lot of the horses do have issues that they want rectified.
Yeah.
With things that they're working through or going through at that time.
Right.
So, it's a little hard for me.
I bet. Like even with my kid, when she's talking nonstop, I'm like, okay, shh.
Yeah. Right. I know.
So you're like, all right, guys, shh.
Yeah.
For a second. Yeah.
We were there last year and I actually had to spend a day alone because I was so overstimulated with all the energy coming through, because it was a lot last year.
Right.
So
I know when Dawn just came to my barn here, I said to her, I'm going through a little bit of an internal conflict so again, I keep my horse at home. I'm kind of like a DIY amateur rider, but I get help from a trainer, Colton LaSousa and Whitney Legacy up in Connecticut. So with the Congress coming up, I didn't know if I wanted to send him to them a couple weeks before I show.
Sure. Just
so that he can travel with them. They can monitor him, everything. And I trust them wholeheartedly. I love them so much. Care is number one to them, and they ride him beautifully. So it's like the total package. But I'm really nervous about losing my connection with him because it has taken me a long time to gain that from him.
Right.
I felt like when I first brought him home, he just was a little bit checked out and he didn't want to connect. And then once we did, I just don't want to lose that.
Right.
So I said that to Dawn. I said, I'm just nervous that I would lose that. And she kind of did agree with me that, he should be with me as much as possible so that we don't lose that
Absolutely. Because he's such an empathic horse. He really, really is grounded here. And he works well. To be away like that and to be thrown into the mix of, and your trainers are wonderful, but it's not home.
It's not home.
It's not you. It's not that connection. It's not mom.
Yeah.
And that sounds silly, but these horses, again, they're not machines.
No.
They're a beating heart. They have feelings. They work hard for you to make you proud. They really do.
Right.
So to have him sent away, it'll be hard on him. And it really will.
And it would be hard for us to reconnect quickly anyways.
Correct. Because again, he's a thinker.
Yeah.
He's a deep thinker.
He is. He really is.
Yeah. So it'll take a while for him to kind of come back from that.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what I agree. And I know that's what my heart and my gut feel. So I feel like we are that in tune that I knew that would be a struggle for us.
Sure.
It really would. And not that, again, that I don't trust them. I can't let him go for as long as maybe would make the most sense and be easiest on everybody.
Right.
But so I really appreciate that insight into that. And I know you said he's kind of like a goofy horse.
Yeah.
Right? He has a lot to say.
Yeah. Well, the last time I was here, he was like this. And then he just kept going and going and going. And then Sterling as well. But when I walked in today, he's so happy and so healthy and grounded. And he just was like, life is good.
Yeah.
Life is very good. He's a good, solid, happy guy.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah, because again, you had just gotten him back from the trainer before, so he was like, "Oh my gosh, I have so much to say." But then, what is it? A year later now, almost a year.
Yeah.
So he is it's come so full circle for him,
right? Where
he's so grounded and happy. All that stuff's gone,
right?
Oh,
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. He feels like a different animal. He just. before, I didn't necessarily get excited about going to ride him. First of all, because he's so bouncy. We were talking about that, but it was hard. He's hard to ride. Not that he is bad or anything like that. He's a very willing horse, but he's just difficult to ride.
Sure.
He's big and he's bouncy, and I was always like, oh, it's hard. He's hard to ride. This isn't like super fun, you know?
Yeah.
And now I look forward to our rides.
Yeah.
I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
Because he tries so hard for you. He really does.
Yeah.
And as we talked about, like because he's bouncy, stuff like that, he catches you. He adjusts for you, which is amazing.
It is funny. Again, the Colton and Whitney keep telling me, they're like, sit down. And I'm like, I'm trying. It's so hard.
Right. And again, he's moving to catch you, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And that's what I am trying to explain to him, that like, just go straight. If you just go forward, like, we will figure it out together.
Right.
We will figure this out.
Right.
Oh my goodness. So I also had you here originally to do a barn blessing.
Right.
Too.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us what from your perspective, what you do, how it works? Because that also was mind blowing to myself and my mom.
Yeah.
So
again, I'm very empathic. I see spirit, hear spirit. So I see what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, I felt that right away when I came in here. So we want me to explain how I did that?
Yeah, right. No, it's so again, it was the bad energy in that first stall.
Right.
And
I honed right in on the middle of it. There was a portal there. So there's a lot of traffic, spirit traffic on this property passing through. But that hung around, and it was dark.
Yeah.
Okay. And I got remember I said it was like Indian stuff, you know?
Right.
So we went in and I honed right in on the center of it because that was the portal.
Right.
And your mom had mentioned that the shavings would actually pop up, bubble up there.
Oh, yeah.
So we did a blessing. We claimed the space aggressively.
Right.
And they left.
And you had us say, like, Jesus lives here.
In Jesus' name, we claim this space as our own. Absolutely. Anything negative or dark is not allowed to stay here. You must leave. Never come back.
Right. Because they're threatened by those words.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. They do not like to hear the word Jesus. They run. You know?
And we felt that. Like, we all felt that.
Yeah.
Like, immediately.
It was, the air in here got thinner. Like it wasn't as heavy.
Right.
And you could take a deep breath.
Right.
And then your mom said it felt like somebody turned a light on in that stall.
Oh, yeah.
After it was done.
Did.
Yeah.
It literally got physically brighter in here. It was insane.
Yeah.
And that's what we are not the original owners of this property. There've been a handful of people through here, but we made this more of a horse barn than anybody had.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a pole building. And so I don't know if we really disrupted something or by building. I don't know.
That was already there.
Yeah.
I think that because you guys are so light, this property is so light, you guys travel in a very high vibration. Okay. They want to snuff that out. They want to,
right.
You know what I mean? That doesn't make them happy.
Right.
That you guys are happy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they want to snuff that out. They want to put out your light, essentially.
So weird. That they find us. Yes. That they found us that way. And I know
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's threatening to them.
Yeah.
It's threatening to them. Can I tell a funny story real quick?
Please.
So I went to a barn in Lancaster one day. I think I had 5 or 6 horses there. And I just kind of mosey on the property. You know me, I'm very casual. I just kind of, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
And I come in and there was a young girl riding a horse, and she was in the ring. And the horse saw me and was like, don't go anywhere. I'm here. Like, I want to talk to you. You know, it was so funny. And the girl that was riding him was like, oh my God, he won't listen to me anymore. Like, he was like done with the lesson or whatever, because he was waiting to talk to me. Aww. So it was just so funny because he was like yelling, like, don't go. It was too funny. So, like I come across that kind of stuff a lot. If they know I'm coming, they start chatting a lot of times the night before I get there.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I went to a reading one time where a girl the horse should have been fed a little better. Oh. And it was talking about that to me before I got there the night before.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I wondered that if a lot of times, not a lot of times, but sometimes is it sad? Like, is it sad? Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do you communicate that with someone?
Well, I've done a lot of readings of horses that have come out of kill pens and stuff after a hard life of work And I leave the barns crying a lot. Like as soon as I touch the horse, a lot of times I'll start to cry.
Yeah.
And because I feel that from them, it's been trauma. So what I can tell you is, once they get that out of them and I convey that to their owners, they have to move past it. So they don't want to hear about it anymore. They're working to move past all that trauma. So don't talk about it in front of them anymore because they want to forget about it.
That's interesting. So the horse, like even so for me, I probably had to move past like a year ago, the transition that we made. I bet you some of that was not helping Zeus and I either, because I would think about it.
Correct.
A lot.
And he can feel that your vibration lowers. He can feel the connection.
Oh my goodness. And I know I was always trying to do right by him. And I was like, if this happened, then I want to do this. And I want to try and make you happy. But I was always very worried about it. Like, am I doing the right thing?
Worry is a killer for them. Yeah. Like they feel it very deeply, So again, always everything's great, happy, and they can feel your heartbeat from 4 feet away. They know exactly your intention.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is. But I believe that because I do. And I'm not like a nervous rider, so to speak, like at all. But I do I have anxiety even about going to the Congress and the World Show. Like I feel like I'm not good enough. So I'm probably pushing him more than I should be.
Okay.
Because I think we're ready. Like we're ready. Of course we're ready. We have a bond. We trust each other. I know if I ask him to do something, he's going to do it or try to do it. But I just had this conversation with my mom yesterday that I am having these weird feelings that like, should I be doing this? Like, are we ready? Am I putting him in a position? I don't want him to fail. I don't want us to fail. I want everybody to look at him as like, oh, he's such a good horse.
Right.
He's such a nice horse.
Right. See, that's you though.
I know. It is. I know. My mom's like, get over your shit. Yeah, I'm like, I know, I'm trying.
That's your self-doubt. And you don't want to put that out in the universe.
True.
Okay.
True.
So don't put that out there.
Right.
You're going to do great.
Just shut it down.
Yeah.
Right? And I need to channel like the positive things, which again is that he's always there for me. He shows every single time. I really have nothing to worry about.
Absolutely. He's a good, honest guy.
Yeah.
You know, and you have a great connection with him. So trust yourself, trust him. Yeah. Together, you're going to do it.
Yeah. Oh, I hope so.
You know?
Oh yeah, he was hot. He got down. He was hot. So he was like, "It is hot today."
Yeah,
I mean, we are slaving to get you guys this content today. I know the video lights and everything, but so I guess I want to talk about the non-believers.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm assuming if somebody calls you out, they're somewhat of a believer, or somebody in the barn is, and then you work with somebody else who maybe is like, okay, fine, you can try this, but you know,
they're usually in the background just watching.
Okay,
they'll just watch, you know, because when I do my readings, specifically, I tell my people, I want you to have specific questions. Right. Not does he like carrots? Does he like me? Specific questions, because you need these answers.
Right.
And you know, how would I know this stuff?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my thing. Like you have to have specific questions, and we'll get them answered for you. Again, so that horse that I read about, you know, we're off to see the wizard.
Yeah.
He wanted her to understand that yes, this information is coming from him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And she was like, I can't believe it. Yeah. And all I can say is I was born this way, and you know, I thank God every day for my blessings.
Yeah.
Because it's about the animals. I'm an animal person. I will help anything I can do to help them.
Animals, right.
You know?
So if somebody in the background is not a believer, what do you say to them?
I understand, you know, but just give me an opportunity to so you can see what I can do.
Right.
To help you and your horse.
Right.
You know, and usually they're like this, holy shit, holy moly.
Okay, right now, no, you can say, yeah, it's okay.
But, you know, and it's sometimes I walk away sometimes like, did that just happen? Because sometimes I'm like, it almost.
It's so intense.
Yes,
probably.
it's so intense. And I walk away sometimes like, wow, that was some pretty super, super specific stuff that it just comes out. Right. You know, it's not even like they're telling me, they're talking through me.
Through you. They're using you to communicate.
So it's coming out. And then I'm like this. Did you get all that? You know what I mean? Did you get all
the right things?
Yeah, because when people are talking to me, a lot of times I'll say, excuse me, if they're talking, I have to give them, like, I'll interrupt them because the horses are talking.
Right.
And I want them to hear what they're saying. So I need to say it now.
Right.
Before I can't.
Right.
So.
That's interesting. Have either of them said anything since we've been sitting here?
Sterling is super, super like, what's happening? Like, he's just like, this is again, Zeus, is he sleeping? I think he's sleeping. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like out.
He's like out. Doesn't care.
But Sterling is kind of like, he's peeking around. What's going on? You know, he's super intelligent.
Yeah.
Super intelligent. And,
oh, I have a question for him.
Sure.
Because, so my daughter, we've had him since she was 8 months old.
Yeah.
And they have had a love-hate relationship for quite some time. And all of a sudden, this summer, she went to pony camp. She came home and she was like, I want to ride.
Okay.
She was like all in. She wanted to brush him. She was like into him all of a sudden.
Okay.
Now, last fall, she had a really bad fall.
Okay.
Not on him, on another horse. And it scared all of us.
Sure.
Big time. So I've been very hesitant about her just free-for-all riding again. And because she's only 6, so I don't want her hurt. I know it's part of it, but they have been clicking and it's been amazing.
Did you put her on her, when's the bareback?
She loves riding a bareback.
Yeah, so he's giving me bareback. He loves it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loves it.
Yeah.
Because he can feel her.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. Your daughter's extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
And so is he. So it's been a battle of wills.
I believe that.
Okay. And now with her riding him bareback, okay, that connection is there. He can feel her heart. He can feel her. It's almost like, so he's thinking, he can hear what she's thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. So they finally got it together.
Yeah,
they finally connected.
Right.
Because again, they're both smart. She wants it his way. She wants it her way.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now they understand each other.
Yeah.
But he gave me that bareback right away.
Right.
He's really enjoying the bareback riding.
Well, and it's funny. She doesn't like the saddle because it moves. He's really rotund.
Yeah.
So it moves around a lot.
Yep.
And she's not strong enough to keep it in the middle. So she's always like wiggling around. And I think that makes him nervous.
Yeah.
That she's going to fall.
Sure.
Because it's wiggly. But lately, the last 3 weeks or so, he has not batted an eye. He has just been a gentleman with her. And I was like, something has changed.
It's that connection that her vibration is, I feel like her vibration, she's come up to him.
Yeah.
Okay. Because he expected it of her. Okay.
Right.
But she kind of was like a little bit like, she was nervous.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Very.
And she couldn't get there. But now he was patient and she got there with him, you know. But the bareback, he keeps talking about that bareback. Because she really has a good seat with him.
Yeah, she does.
Yep, she's given me that. Like they're very in time together.
No, it's okay.
Okay,
Sorry.
they're very in time together with their bareback and stuff like that. Her hands are good on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So
that's good. Okay.
He's just bam, hit me with that.
Good. Oh, good. I'm glad. Because I want them to have a partnership. I want them to enjoy each other. And I told her, I'm like, well, we should just sell him because if you don't have an interest in him, I don't want to, like, he should go be enjoyed by somebody.
Sure.
He's a really good boy, but he can be naughty.
It's mutual respect now. And she's got that confidence now that he understands that, you know, it's a team we're a team now.
Right.
We're working together towards the same goal.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because she really made a huge.
She did.
She made a lot of progress.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other day, I was riding Zeus, and she came down after school, and she got him out. She's like, I'm going to get him out. And I'm like, no, okay.
Yeah.
And she got him out of his stall. She started brushing him. She put him in the cross ties, everything.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And she had never done anything
so
like that.
Her confidence is up there now.
Oh, yeah.
And he feels that with her.
Good.
So there's respect.
So he's not as worried about what she's doing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Good.
That answer your question?
Yes. And I'll have to tell her that. We laughed the other day. I said, you have to talk to him. And she's like, but he can't talk back. And I'm like, yeah, I talk to Zeus all the time.
He needs to hear it.
Talk.
He needs to hear her voice.
Yeah.
And it's another thing I tell people, you know, these horses, they want to know what you expect of them when you're tacking them up. Okay, we're going to do this, this, and this today. Yep. I expect this. We need to work on this. And let's try and get, you know, it'll be an hour, half hour, whatever. Yep. But this is what we're working on and we're doing it together. And it's a huge, huge difference for these horses because they know what to expect.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I feel that way too. I've always kind of felt that way. And I'm like, I don't know, am I just this weird horse girl that talks to her horses? I've always done that.
No,
and,
not at all.
I haven't changed as an adult. Like I still do that. And again, I don't know if it's because I'm alone a lot.
They understand what you're saying because I went to see a pony one time. And before I even put my hands on the pony, I looked at the owner. I said, "You're going to breed her?" And she was like, "Yeah, how do you know?" I go, "You're talking about it in front of her?" "Yeah." I go, "She hears you."
Oh.
So they hear you. They understand.
Yeah. I believe it. I really do believe it. Now, when when we get to the horse show environment, I know I change. Of course, I would assume most of us do because we're there to compete. We're not,
Absolutely.
and when we're here in the barn, we're not thinking about competing. We're just training, practice, so to speak. So should we even talk to them there, or should or just like internally have the conversation, or should it be like an actual outward?
No, put your hands on that horse and talk to them, and it is game on. We're doing this together. We're here to kick ass.
Yeah.
And let's go.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna try that. I know.
Absolutely.
And then what else do I want to ask you about? I know we talked about my horses a lot, of course. I mean, and dogs are kind of the same?
Animals.
It's all the animals.
Yeah, animals that have crossed over, animals.
Let's talk about that.
Sure.
Because actually, so is that a lot of what you do is people want to talk to animals that have
Yeah,
passed?
I do a lot of that.
Okay.
A lot of those readings.
Okay.
If a cricket wants to talk to me, they'll talk to me.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get, it's funny because Michelle just said to me the other day, I wonder if you could talk to a shark like in an aquarium.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
Aww.
I'm going to try that.
Yeah, but they're sad.
Yeah, well, but just to see if they have anything to say.
Yeah.
A friend of mine called me, her hamster had crossed over. Bam, I got that hamster right away.
Way.
If they want to talk, they'll come right through.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of animals that have crossed over. And a lot of times when I am doing a reading on a horse that's here or a dog, whatever, they will bring the animals that they were close to through anyway, and spirit as well, family members, So I'll get a mom, a grandpa.
Really? That they're with?
Yeah. That have crossed them over.
If I asked you now to connect with an animal that has passed, like, do I give you like a name, or how do you, or something, or?
So who's a brown dog? Oh. Is there a brown dog?
I had, he was like an orange sable. It was like light brown.
Okay.
I had another Pomeranian.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What was it?
Quigley was his name.
Okay. And how long's he been? So got right away. Like I got that color.
He's probably jealous because I haven't. Quigley has been gone about, now 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it came right through.
Oh. Then we just put another dog down about a year ago that looked, it was an Aussie, black tri Aussie. Okay. He was old. The Pomeranian was not that old.
So the Aussie, what was the Aussie's name?
Colby.
Okay. I have him.
Okay.
And he's got like glasses on.
I have to say, you guys, my mom is sitting off to the side here, and she's probably going to lose it here momentarily.
So he was a good, faithful dude. Glasses. He's like smoking, kind of like smoking a stogie. Yeah. Like that was his personality.
Yeah.
So he was a very, 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 very faithful dog.
Yes. Very wise.
Yep. Wise.
He would like take it all in.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Didn't miss a trick.
No.
Didn't miss a trick.
No.
What was his name?
Colby.
Colby. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He walked circles around you.
Yeah.
Like he would walk circles around you? Oh, yeah. Yep.
He would pace, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? He was very...
Yeah.
Always waiting on you, though. Always waiting for his, what do you need from me? What do you need from me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm...
Oh, I know.
But that's what happened. So you just brought them through.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All day, every day.
there is a horse that we put down 2 years ago, and I think about him all the time, and I'm like, poor Zeus gets compared to this horse all the time, and I still I'll look at horses for sale online, and I look for that horse, and I tell people that all the time. I'm like, I just want another Trevor. Was his name? Okay. Trevor, and just because he just was so cool. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. And he was like the look and everything. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe he wasn't a world champion,
Sure.
but he just was such
He
a
was he
cool
was he was
dude.
he was like a so I have Trevor.
Okay.
So he was like Fonzie. That's
Yeah.
how I'm getting him. Like
Yeah.
he was super
Yeah. He
cool
was.
and just had this super awesome energy about him.
Yeah.
Head high, proud all the
He
time.
was proud.
Great. He had an awesome like walk
Yeah.
about him. He was
Yeah.
very like his walk, very proud walk.
Yeah.
Great chest on him.
Yeah. He was huge.
Yep.
He was huge. He like wore a draft horse skirt,
Yeah.
even though he was a quarter horse.
Yeah. Huge chest.
Yeah.
He's giving
really
me
broad.
again, and he would walk and he just had this.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
He did. And he was like a really flashy, he was a sorrel horse with 4 high white stockings.
Okay.
And a great trotter.
Yeah.
Like just would float across the ground.
But so cool. Like just had such a great, like he was the cool guy.
Yeah.
In the yeah, like he's like, I'm telling you, it's crazy. I'm getting like the Fonz.
Yeah.
He had like a leather jacket on. He was like, everybody wanted to be his friend.
Yeah. He was really social, he would talk a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And he was great with my daughter, too. Just like a sweet... Zeus is, too. I don't know if Zeus ever talks about that or would want to talk about that, but he loves my daughter. And someday, I would hope that he could be her show horse someday. Mm-hmm. And because the two of them would just be adorable.
He will.
Because he looks at her and he's like, "Oh, little girl," and like, I don't know. He's very sweet and soft.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, horses are amazing with children anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's their vibration because they're so innocent. There's nothing malicious about them at this age. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
They just want to, oh my God, horse. You know what I mean? And so, and so they're like, yeah, come on. Yeah. Happy to do it.
Oh, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Hi.
Thanks for joining us.
I know. He's like, this. Here I am. Hi.
Yeah. Oh.
He's like, I heard my voice.
Yeah. Did you just wake up? Because I think he was taking a little snooze.
Absolutely,
relaxing.
he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it's again, I can walk around in Giant and I see, oh, there's a woman and her husband's next to her, but I'm not going to go up and say like, hey, I have your husband next to me. Wow. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's neat. It's a blessing and a curse, I say sometimes.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Just understand. Everybody has to understand that like these horses, these animals, it's a beating heart and they do have feelings.
Yeah.
And, they do want to be, they want that love. They want, and if they don't want that, there's a reason why.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yep. Usually there's a reason why.
So some don't connect with certain people?
Right.
Okay.
Because of a lot of times it's their energy, it's their vibration. It reminds them of something. Yeah. A lot of rescue dogs, rescue cats, rescue animals in general, they carry some trauma, but once they work through it, once they're able to have the opportunity to get it out and work through it, they just want to move forward.
Right.
They don't want to stay in that vibration. They don't want to stay in that cesspool.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Now, do horses feel that way when they get sold? Like if they're a show horse and they get sold a couple times, do they feel like they're being used?
They miss their bonds with certain people. Okay. They do, they're empathic. Yeah. They do develop relationships.
I believe so. I have to touch on that really. I just about was going to wrap us up, and now I have to touch on that because Zeus lived with a husband and wife team in Florida for a longer period of time than he has with anybody besides me now. And when I brought him home, I reached out to them and I was like, what did you do with him? He seemed so happy. Yeah. Give me your plan. How did you do it? And so I've been in touch with them off and on just through Facebook and lovely, lovely people. Mm-hmm. The husband is a quarter horse judge. Okay. And I saw him at a horse show with Zeus this summer. I'm not kidding you. I swear that horse was smiling. Yeah. He was like, hey, Rick. Hey, Rick. Yeah. And the
wife more though had wonderful hands on him.
Yes.
She touched him with such love.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm going to cry because she did. And she still has like this crazy bond with him. I know she does. Because even if she's at the Congress and she comes to see him, he'll light up.
Absolutely. He's totally talking about her.
Yeah.
He's giving me her hands and the way she touched him with intention and love. Yes. And always to make him feel loved.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And that he was special, I feel like. She saw in him that he was really special. and she did different things with him than other people had done. And I think he was like, "Thank you. This is."
She was all over his face. He's giving me.
Oh my gosh, she treats.
Yeah,
she was like the treat
she was
lady.
always rubbing his ears and his up in his pole and his jaw.
Yeah.
She would always, she was all over his face and stuff.
Yeah. I think she made him mouthy, but it's okay.
Okay.
But she did. She just had such a bond, and I know it was really hard for her to sell him. She did not want to, but that's their business.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
And she did, and I just remember even when I bought him, she reached out and she was like, "I'm so happy. This is where he's going. Like, I'm so excited for you." And they've been like my biggest cheerleaders throughout. But it was funny when he saw this man, he knew.
Yeah.
He literally, and
so he's giving me, he almost found him and was like, "Hi."
Stop it.
Yeah.
Okay, stop it. He did. So I was showing the halter class, and in the halter, you're on the ground, obviously. And I walked by the judge, Rick Christie is his name. I walked by him at the end of the class after it was done. And hi, Zeus. Yeah, Zeus is peeking out too. But I walked by him and I was like, "Zeus says hi." And Zeus pulled me over to him and rubbed on him. Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Absolutely. Like really gave him.
He did. Yeah.
No, he showed me.
Oh my gosh, he did. That's exactly what he did. That is too funny. Well, yeah. So I can see that when they keep that bond.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's especially when it's a good bond like that. Like again, he went from them to you. So he went from a great
There was one in between, but it was short.
Oh, because he's not talking about that at all.
Short.
Really?
It was short. Yes.
Like 2 months, 2 or 3 months. I feel like
probably not long. Yeah. It was
Who was that?
Her name was Patty.
Okay.
And she's a good friend of mine.
Okay.
And she competes in similar events. And she joked when she sold him to me, she said, "It's because he's too bouncy." She's like, "Allie, I will never win a world show with that trot." She's like, "I can't sit it." So that was why she was like, "I can't afford to, have all these horses if it's not going to be the one."
Sure.
And,
yeah, it was very short.
It was short.
Like it was a blink. He's giving me was a blink.
Yeah, he was not.
You know what I mean?
No. I think she realized that she didn't connect with him the way she was hoping.
Yeah.
And
this was giving me too.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Yeah. He was very stoic with her.
Yeah.
Very kind of.
Patty, it's you, not him. Just kidding.
Yeah, right. Well, it's just sometimes they need to feel that connection, and sometimes it's just not there with people. It's not anything against them or whatever, but it just doesn't work.
Right.
But she knew it, so that was good.
You know what's funny? She has another horse that she has such a deep connection with. I know many people. She is a multiple world and Congress champion.
Sure.
This girl has won so much. She's unbelievably talented. And the horse that she has, I know many people have tried to buy, and she just hasn't.
Yeah.
I don't think she should, because he is just the one. Like he's the one for her. And
Does she have long hair?
Longer than mine. Yeah. Dark, maybe this, I don't know, I haven't seen her in a while, but longer than,
You have to do a lot of editing.
Yeah, no, this is great. This is what we want. We want the real stuff. Yeah.
So she's coming, so that whole thing, that's all coming through.
Yeah.
And absolutely, she's a serious rider.
Yes.
And she's extremely good at what she does.
Yes.
But she expects a certain level.
Yeah.
It's got to be, you know what I mean? Because she's very good at what she does. She's a wonderful rider.
Yeah.
Zeus just wasn't it for her.
No,
it just wasn't that.
Yeah.
He wasn't that go-to for her.
No, he wasn't.
Right.
And I could see that. Even he's a very different horse than the horse she has been so successful with,
right.
for sure.
Does she ride a mare?
Nobody looks like one.
Okay.
He's very
pretty.
Yes.
Yep.
They call him Perfect Patrick.
Oh, okay. Very pretty. His eyes are beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful,
yes.
like almost mascara eyes.
Yes. Yes. He is. He is kind of feminine looking.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway.
Well, I can't thank you enough for doing this.
Sure. Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
I wanted people to hear what I have experienced with you and other communicators as well. But I know when you came here to this barn, I was just blown away. And I hope that others that maybe, even if you don't 100% believe in it, that they still try it.
Absolutely.
And maybe they'll get something from it.
Yeah.
I just think it's really fascinating. I think it helps people connect with their horses. I think it helps them become a better horseman, a better rider.
Yeah.
All of it. Just a little bit more aware.
And thankfully, I'm very blessed. I get a lot of feedback that, people, after I do come and visit and give them information, they always tell me that they feel they have a better relationship. Yeah. They're closer to their horses. And that means the world to me, because that's what it's about.
I know I'll probably have a better ride today. I'll be like, Zeus, I'm sorry.
No. He loves you.
Oh.
He loves you.
Thank you. And again, thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely. It was.
Keep doing your thing.
Thank you.
It's great.
Thank you. I absolutely intend on doing that. And I'm so thankful for people like you and your mom that invite me to their barn and accept my, accept the things I'm telling them, because I'm a brutally honest person.
Right.
You know
Which
what I
is
mean?
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to say it like I get it.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the fact that people are willing to have me come in and take that on. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, really, it's not like we know what you're going to say.
Right.
I mean, we don't know. It could be something that we don't really want to hear.
Absolutely.
So,
but sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I love it. Real and raw. We like it.
That's awesome. Awesome.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah.